watching South Asia Newsline. Another top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 13th of March. PM Modi outlines energy strategy, assures fuel supply amid West Asia tensions. India rejects Pakistan's baseless allegations of aggravating skirmishes with Afghanistan. And gas shortage hits Kathmandu as Iran war disrupts global supply. And now for all the details. Amid the rising tension in the Middle East and the growing concern about oil and LPG shortages due to the ongoing crisis, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday outlined a dual approach to energy security, boosting domestic infrastructure for wider access and promoting self-sufficiency to cut reliance on imports. Addressing a gathering at the NXT conclave in Bharat Mandapam, PM said, first, to increase energy access in the country, we build infrastructure. Second, we do not have to rely solely on foreign sources for energy. For this, we emphasized self-reliance in the energy sector. He also criticized the opposition for pursuing its own agenda amid the LPG shortage issue and assured that continuous efforts are being made to overcome the obstacles in the supply chain. PM Modi further shed light on the efforts made by the BJP government in boosting the capacity of petrol, diesel and LPG resources in the country. He also requested the state governments to prevent black marketing and the spread of rumours and asserted strict action against those engaged in such activities.
आज युद्ध से जो ये वैश्विक संकट आया है, उसके प्रभाव से कोई देश अछूता नहीं है। कम अधिक मात्रा में हर कोई इस संकट के शिकार है। भारत भी इस संकट से निपटने के लिए कोई कसर बाकी नहीं छोड़ रही है।
Meanwhile, India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal during the weekly press briefing on Thursday rejected Pakistan's allegations of aggravating skirmishes with Afghanistan, calling them baseless and accusing Pakistan of blaming others for its own misdeeds. Jaiswal dismissed Pakistani claims and stated that Pakistan's history of state-sponsored terrorism undermines its credibility. It has become second nature for Pakistan to blame India for its misdeeds, Jaiswal added. Pakistan and Afghanistan exchanged airstrikes and reported casualties along the Durand line in late February as tensions sharply escalated between the two neighbours. Pakistan carried out airstrikes targeting Kabul and other Afghan cities, with Defence Minister Khwaja Asif accusing the Taliban of sheltering global terrorists and supporting militancy. Afghanistan has from time to time rejected such allegations. The latest escalation comes amid long-standing tensions over the Durand line and growing disputes since the Taliban returned to power in 2021, with Pakistan demanding action against the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP, which it says operates from Afghan territory.
Pakistan about the statement that they had made. So on that, I would like to say that we reject such baseless allegations. It has become second nature for Pakistan to blame India for its misdeeds. As a state sponsor of terrorism for decades, Pakistan has zero credibility when it comes to cross-border terrorism. No amount of storytelling is going to alter this reality, nor is anyone fooled by Pakistan's assumed victimhood.
And Yasser Larossi, an associate of the Eco-Fond Society, drew international attention to the continuing threat of terrorism in South Asia, particularly referencing the deadly attack in Pahalgam, located in India's Jammu and Kashmir, on the sidelines of the 61st session of the United Nations Human Rights Council. In an exclusive interview with ANI, Larossi highlighted the devastating impact of the Pahalgam terror attack and conveyed a message of solidarity with the victims and the people of India. Addressing the issue of regional security, Larossi said that Pakistan's sponsored terrorism continues to threaten peace and stability in South Asia. On April 22nd last year, at least 3 armed terrorists near Pahalgam in India's Jammu and Kashmir killed 26 tourists, reportedly targeting Hindu visitors based on their religion. Following the incident, India launched Operation Sindoor. A brief armed conflict between India and Pakistan began on May 7, 2025, after India carried out precision strikes targeting terrorist hideouts in Pakistan.
Yesterday, I raised a conference at the 61st Convention in the Human Rights Council and the United Nations that you can see. I talked about the issues in the region of Jammu and Kashmir in India region. I spoke about the terrorist attack that happened a year ago. It's soon going to be the birthday. On 22nd of April is going to be the birthday of this terrible attack. Just to say, I condemn terrorism. I do not approve terrorism at all. I am for peace and just peace around the world. So that's something that I condemn.
And Pakistan's stock market has come under pressure as global tensions linked to the Iran conflict rattle investors and push oil prices higher. We have a report.
Stocks in Karachi declined as investors reacted to geopolitical tensions surrounding the conflict involving Iran and the United States. Analysts say the sell-off in Karachi reflects concerns about inflation and external balances that could put pressure on Pakistan's economy. Analysts say higher oil prices could increase Pakistan's trade deficit and potentially push interest rates higher, putting pressure on companies that rely heavily on borrowing.
Pakistan will face higher current account deficit, higher trade deficit definitely, and because of that, we may see higher imported inflation, and then we may see interest rate to increase. So that can pose a lot of threat to the corporate earnings, who are leverage companies, those companies who can face some demand constraints as well. So definitely higher oil price will impact countries like Pakistan, which are too much dependent on imported oil.
Pakistan imports nearly 80% of the oil it consumes, making the country highly vulnerable to global energy price swings. Much of those imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping route that has been affected by the escalating conflict. Experts believe oil prices could stabilize once geopolitical tensions ease.
Moving on. Hindu community groups in Bangladesh staged a protest in the capital on Friday, alleging continued persecution of the country's Hindu minority. We have a report.
Dozens of protesters gathered in central Dhaka, forming a human chain to raise concerns about what they say are attacks against members of the Hindu minority community. The protest was organized by several Hindu organizations, including the Bangladesh Jatiya Hindu Mahajat. Organizers claimed that incidents including killings, sexual violence, and the seizure of property have continued despite a change in government.
हम यहाँ खड़े हुए हैं इस देश में जो अल्पसंख्यक हिंदू माइनॉरिटीज की जो ऊपर जो निर्यातन निपीड़न हो रहा है वह जो खून बलात्कार लूटमारी हो रहा है उसके विरोध में हम यहाँ खड़े हुए हैं.
They called on authorities to investigate reported attacks and ensure those responsible are punished. Protesters say they will continue demonstrations until authorities address their concerns and take stronger measures to ensure minority safety.
अभी हम लोग जो गवर्नमेंट आया ये गवर्नमेंट को यही बोल रहा है फर्स्ट जो चिन्मय कृष्ण दास को हम लोग बेकसूर खलास चाहिए. 2 नंबर हम लोग जो ये 18 मास में प्लस ये जो ये गवर्नमेंट आया 15 दिन हुआ ये 15 दिन में भी जितना अकरेंस हुआ हिंदू का ऊपर सबका एकदम 100% पनिशमेंट चाहिए.
And residents in Nepal's capital are facing a growing cooking gas shortage as the Iran crisis causes ripple across global fuel markets. Long queues formed in Kathmandu as people waited for liquefied petroleum gas cylinders, with authorities introducing emergency measures to conserve supplies. The disruption is linked to halted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for oil and gas exports from the Middle East. According to local media reports, the state-owned Nepal Oil Corporation has instructed bottling plants to sell cylinders that are only half filled in order to stretch limited reserves. Nepal relies heavily on imported fuel, making the country vulnerable to global supply shocks. With tanker traffic slowed across the Gulf region, supplies reaching South Asia have tightened significantly. A consumer waiting in line says residents are struggling to know when they will receive gas.
अहिले अब ग्यास छटेछ पसलमा गयो डिलरमा गयो नाम लेखाउनु पर्छ त्यो कहिले नाम लेखाइराखे त्यो पाउने कहिले त्यो थाहा छैन.
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.